Hey guys, welcome back. I'm in Brisbane, Australia, wide awake and looking forward to talking to you about 1 Kings chapter 12. So get your Bible ready and let's jump on it.
Welcome to Everyday Truth with Kurt Skelly. We believe the Bible is true and relevant to everyone, everywhere, every day. If today's conversation is a help to you, take a moment to leave a review or share it with a friend. Thanks for listening. Now, let's join Kurt for today's episode.
Greetings, my friends, from Brisbane, Australia. I'm here on a Friday morning, but back in the States, it's still Thursday. So I am bringing you Friday's podcast. I'm in the future, and I'm going to let you know the future is doing just well. It's a beautiful day here, about, 80 degrees, and I'll be here for just a few days helping out with the conference, doing some preaching. So pray for me as I am away, but hoping to get home soon. In the meantime, we are in 1 Kings chapter 12, brand new chapter today, and we ended the ministry of Solomon last episode. So remember, Solomon started off so well and did some great things, exercised some great wisdom, but then just began to wane, and he didn't pay attention to the warnings that God had given him about multiplying wealth and horses and wives. And ultimately, that compromise led to his demise. And God told him, when you die, Solomon, I will divide your kingdom. You had a divided heart. I will therefore divide your kingdom. And as we've said, the southern kingdom, which would be the smaller one, comprised of one main tribe, Judah, and Benjamin, the smaller tribe, that would be ruled by David's offspring. So David, Solomon, and then the physical son of Solomon would reign the southern kingdom, retaining the name Judah for the nation, the capital of which would be Jerusalem. And then the northern kingdom would be called Israel. And remember, we talked about how God, through Ahijah the prophet, had called, anointed Jeroboam to be that man. And Solomon found out about it. Jeroboam had to basically run for his life. He's been camping out in Egypt until Solomon dies. Well, all of that's happened. Solomon has died. Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, is now the king, but the kingdom is supposed to be split. So they summon Jeroboam, and this is a really powder keg situation. And I want you to see it in 1 Kings chapter 12 and verse 1, where it says Rehoboam went to Shechem. So Shechem actually is in the northern kingdom. So Shechem is most famously the place where Abraham built his first altar when he entered the promised land many years before. So that would not have been lost upon Rehoboam as far as the significance of that spot. And then Shechem was also the place where the two hillsides on either side, Gerizim and Ebal, where the people of God, when they came in with Joshua, reiterated the blessings and the cursings of Deuteronomy. So it's a great place, a great historical place for Rehoboam to establish his kingdom, a place of covenant, a place of calling, a place of reaffirming. So far, so good. It looks as if Rehoboam wants to start off on the right foot, but watch what happens. So he comes to Shechem and he calls all Israel to him. It came to pass when Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, so Jeroboam's not there, when he was yet in Egypt, he heard of it, for he was fled from the presence of Solomon, and Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt, that they sent and called him. And Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came and spake unto Rehoboam. So what's happening? There's a big powwow going on in Shechem. So Rehoboam is the genealogical king, but there is this split in the kingdom, and the people representing the northern kingdom of Israel, Jeroboam is their man. So they're going to make a deal, or try to make a deal, because they want the country to be unified. This is not much different than what the USA went through back in the 1860s. Well, a civil war that threatened to divide our nation into the United States of America and the Confederate States of America. But here, unlike our Civil War, it didn't end in union, it ended in disunion. And of course, this is what God planned and predicted. So they gather together, verse number 4, here's what they say to Rehoboam. Thy father, so hey, Solomon, he made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievous service of thy father and his heavy yoke which he put upon us lighter, and we will serve thee. So they really have a heart for union. We don't want to be divided as a nation. Here's our one request. Things have been really, really difficult. Solomon built these great expansive cities and these huge civil works projects. And remember, he had that conscripted labor. People were basically conscripted into labor. And it's been very, very difficult. And we're asking that you would just lighten the load, that you would allow us to breathe, that you would give us a little bit of respite. And if you'll simply do that, then we pledge our loyalty to you. It sounds very reasonable. It sounds as if this is the best possible scenario that Rehoboam could have ever expected. But remember, God had already said, so God knows things that nobody in this powwow knows. And God had already said that because of Solomon's sin, God had already promised to Jeroboam this was going to happen. Now, how? How did it happen? Look at verse number 5. He said, so Rehoboam did, depart yet for 3 days, then come again to me, and the people departed. Okay, let me give 3 days to think about it. And essentially, here's what Rehoboam did. I'm not going to read every verse. Rehoboam gathered his counselors together and said, men, here's what is happening. They're offering me this deal. I told them I'm going to come back in 3 days. What do you think I should do? And the older counselors in Rehoboam's government say, Rehoboam, that is very reasonable. They have a point. It has been very, very difficult to live under Solomon's reign. And this is not, I mean, this is a small price to pay for the union of the nation. You ought to take their deal. But then Rehoboam consulted with his peers, those that had not lived under Solomon's reign, those that had not experientially suffered those years of hardship. And here's what they said. They said, Rehoboam, don't show weakness. If you cave into this, then what's the next thing that they're going to make you cave into? You've got to show yourself strong right now. This is a test. And so what you need to do is you need to go back and tell them, hey, you think my dad was tough? I'm going to be tougher. You think my dad was strong? I'm going to be stronger. You just go in there and you be a tough guy and you just tell them, you're going to serve me and you're going to do what I say and I'm the king. Now, even saying that out loud, doesn't that sound pretty unwise? And yet in that moment, Rehoboam is taking more stock in what his peers say, these without experience, these that have not gone through, instead of what the old men say. And there's a great general principle there for all of us. And that is that counsel obviously is important. And Rehoboam was wise to say, I'm not going to make an immediate decision. Let me think about this. But Rehoboam should have been seeking the Lord first. That's our primary counselor. And then in seeking human counsel, seek counsel from those that have some experience, those that know God, that love God, that have your best interest at heart. And Rehoboam is making all these rookie mistakes, isn't he? I think sometimes we do that today. I'm talking maybe to a teenager that is 17, 18 years of age, and you're trying to figure out what to do for the rest of your life. You're trying to think about how to train and where to go to college and all those things. And those are tough choices. Can I just say, first of all, seek the Lord first. Be right with the Lord. Make sure your heart is bent toward, Lord, whatever you want me to do. Because it's in that heartfelt submission that God does his best work. But then talk to those that are a generation older than you. You know, what does your pastor think? More importantly, what do your parents think? Have you received and are you listening to the counsel of people that are generationally older than you? I think if we're not careful, we'll get the majority of our counsel from people that don't know any more than we do. They don't have any more experience than we do. And they're going to counsel us, not always according to what's best for us, but what's best for them and us. Because these counselors of Rehoboam, no doubt were thinking, and we're going to be the leaders too, and we're going to have a big kingdom too, and we're going to be tough too. And all of this was really, really unwise. Well, let's skip down a couple of verses. So what does Rehoboam do? He gets this counsel from the old men. He gets this counsel from the young men. And in verse 11, now whereas my father did lade you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. So Rehoboam comes back. He makes the speech. He says, I'm going to be tough. I'm going to be tougher than my dad. So Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam the third day, as the king had appointed, saying, come to me again the third day. And the king answered the people roughly. Man, he was the tough guy. He forsook the old man's counsel that he gave them. And he spake to them after the counsel of the young men. He told them, I'm going to make it hard. Wherefore the king hearkened not unto the people, for the cause was from the Lord. So obviously this is going to cause division in the nation. The northern kingdom is going to separate. But what the Bible commentary is, and yet this is exactly what God predicted. So when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, the people answered the king, saying, what portion have we in David? Neither have we inheritance in the sons of Jesse. To your tents, O Israel. Now see to thine own house, David. So Israel departed unto their tents. Basically a fancy way of saying we're done. We're splitting. The house of David can do its own thing. We're no longer going to be identified with them. But as for the children of Israel, which dwelt in the cities of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them. So Rehoboam had the southern kingdom. Now, verse 18 will be the last verse I'll read. Then King Rehoboam sent Adoram. Now, we've talked about this guy because this was the guy early in Solomon's reign that was in charge of all the conscripted labor. He was the guy that raised the taxes. He was the guy that oversaw the forced labor. So Rehoboam is like, all right, these guys are splitting and they're acting like they're going to secede from the nation. Well, guess what? I'm going to send my guy. I'm still going to be tough and I'm going to conscript their labor anyway. They're going to do what I tell them to do. But here's what happens in verse 18. I shouldn't be laughing. But the king Rehoboam sent Adoram, so this old man who had done this for years, who was over the tribute, and all Israel stoned him with stones that he died. I mean, they sent the message, you will not rule over us. So what a tough start for Rehoboam. What a tough start for Jeroboam, and all of it unnecessary because the kingdom was divided because Solomon's heart was divided. Now, next episode, I want to talk about what Rehoboam did. He just couldn't accept what the Lord was doing here, and yet finally he does accept it. We'll talk about how that happens, and then we'll jump back into a longer explanation of what Jeroboam does. And spoiler alert, it's really bad and it's really ugly. So we'll stop there for today. Have a great day in the Lord. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time. God bless you, my friends.